Welcome to the Studio Success Formula Podcast, the business school for dance studio owners. And now for your host, Clint Salter.
Hello, it's Clint, your host for the Studio Success Formula Podcast, and I want to welcome you to a brand new episode. Thank you so much for all of the emails and messages I received last week about the little sneak peek I gave you into Mia Michael's masterclass from Dance Teachers Unite. Now, if you didn't catch last week, let me quickly fill you in. Dance Teachers Unite is a 10-day online event that we are running that starts next week on Tuesday, the 6th of October. And over those 10 days, we're bringing you 32 masterclasses, video masterclasses with experts in dance, business, and marketing, focusing on the things to help you grow your business and really take it to the next level and beyond. So last week, we gave you a little sneak peek into Mia Michael's class. And because the response was so awesome, I thought, you know what? I'm going to give you another sneak peek into someone else's masterclass. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit from my time with Claire O'Connor. Now, just quickly, if you haven't got your free ticket to Dance Teachers Unite, make sure you go and register. It's danceteachersunite.com. That's where you can get your free ticket to gain access to the 32 video masterclasses over the 10 days. So Claire O'Connor. Now, if you don't know Claire, you definitely need to. I met Claire over a year ago now. She is the founder of Babyballet, which is a ballet program for preschool age children. Now, get this right. She has over 26,500 little ones under 6 taking her ballet classes every single week. She has over 70 franchisees in the UK. She is a superstar when it comes to how to build your preschool classes. Now, if you've been following any of the information, any of the trainings that I provide, you know that I love our preschoolers and I love making sure that's really a solid part of your business, because that's your foundation really, are your preschool classes, because then those students then go up into all of your other classes as they get older. So I'm really passionate about this. So I wanted to share with you just a little snippet from my masterclass with the awesome, the wonderful, and the really lovely Claire O'Connor from Babyballet. Enjoy this. I think so many of our studio owners can struggle when it comes to preschool ballet classes or preschool classes in general. And I think it's because of engaging the students, because we know the little ones, they're licking the mirrors or they're rolling around on the floor or climbing on the bars. I mean, what do you think it is that a program needs to have to be able to keep the children's attention for, how long are your classes?
Our general time length is 35 minutes per class.
Okay, cool.
I think that's one of the main things actually, to make the class just the right amount of time. If you make it too long, they lose their attention span, and we find that 35 minutes is absolutely perfect. So don't make the classes too long, and also don't make the content over-complicated, because I think as well, the studio owners who are extremely talented, they're extremely technically amazing. You've got to remember that this age group are tiny little ones who need everything to be very, very simple, broken down, and number one thing, repetition is the key. So, don't feel just because you're not changing it week on week on week that they're going to get bored, because they really love having that repetition and knowing that when they come to class, they get confident in what you're doing week in, week out.
I think that's really important. So many of our studio owners always struggle with, well, how long should our program be, and when should we change it up, and do we need a new theme every week? I mean, what would be some tips around, you talked about repetition, keeping it simple. I mean, what else are some of your tips around putting a program together? Do you structure it like in terms of like a month or 2 months or different levels? Give us some information about kind of the structure of the program.
Okay, with Babyballet, we start from 6 months and then it feeds up. The program's written from 6 months, goes right up to 6 years. And within that time frame, the children progress ever so slightly into the next level and the next level and the next level. And that's all been finely tuned in research so that we're not pushing the children too much, but we are really helping them to come on with all the confidence skills, the balance, coordination, very basic ballet moves, posture. So this is all really finely tuned into the program over that time. And a little one has such an eager, wide-eyed, like wanting to learn. They want to, they just come in that room and they're just so excited about what you give them that you don't have to make it change too often. Our curriculum changes every six weeks. We do add a new one, but within that, the structure is very, very similar. So we don't do a whole new range of things every 6 weeks. The structure will stay the same, and we'll vary a few things in the middle. So they're still getting the excitement of new things, but they're very comfortable and happy with what we're providing week in, week out. And they know when they come through the door, they know that they're going to have the warm-up song. They know that they're going to do the exercises in the middle, and then they know they always finish off with the beloved teddy bears.
Awesome. How you just touched on music there. How important is music for a preschool dance program?
Very, very important. When I started, I didn't want the syllabus to be all classical. I just wanted it to be more fun, more lively, fit in with a preschooler, what they'd be hearing in other places, so nursery rhymes, action songs, classics, musicals. So ours is a sort of variety of all those things into one. We've had a lot of music written ourselves, so we know exactly, the children will get used to our own songs. But we do have classical in there, but it's not a full classical music song because they love singing, they love acting, they love performing, and they love being able to do more than the very basic with classical music, ballet with classical music. So we make ours just ignite them and inject so much fun into it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you kind of just briefly brought up music because it's a question we get all the time. People are always saying, what music should I use? Should I use this? Should I use that? I guess you've done a lot of testing as well over the 10 years in terms of what the kids love, what they don't react to, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because something that you think they might absolutely love, they're not really that bothered about, but other things, I mean, they do. Sometimes if you create a magical song and you've got some magical music, it can be very classical and they can be lost in the moment and they're dreamy and they're just lost in that song. Other things, they want it upbeat, they want it popular, they want it something that, they're really used to. And that's why we've developed a lot of music ourselves based on what the children were reacting positively to and what was getting their best engagement from them.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's great advice. Guys, I hope you've got your notepad and you're writing all of this down. You're going to need to rewatch this interview. Claire, I think one of the things I wanted to ask you as you were talking, you've done a lot of testing, a lot of measuring over the years in terms of the program itself and the developing of the program and the growth of the programs. What's something you wish you knew when you started creating the program that you now know now? Because I'm sure it has drastically changed over the years.
Yeah, good point, actually. I'm stuck on that question, Clint.
Yeah, I just thought to myself, because I think we see the children, when we're creating a program, and I see so many of our members who start a program and then they're like, this isn't working. Okay, what do we need to do? You know what? This works a little bit better. Maybe we should do more of that. And I know you've got props as well. You use props. So was that always in the mix, or you've kind of become more reliant on the props in the program? Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, well, over the years, I think the thing that I feel the most fortunate about was when I was developing the program, my own children were quite young. So I was involved in the preschool world. And I think that was a real benefit for me because I could see with my own children how they were responding. I could test things out with them. I could, see their enjoyment factor, and I could see how much engagement they were getting from the things that they were doing, not necessarily with what I was doing. So seeing that reaction definitely helped whilst they were younger. And with props, we started off, obviously 10 years ago, or 16 years ago when we very first began researching it. We just used, the basics was maybe have one instrument and one teddy bear. And from then, we see how much they actually respond to the props and how much enjoyment they get So we've fed and researched and got so many more props involved. One really important thing to mention is please do make sure that all the props that you use are age appropriate, safety-wise. We're very, very strict about that with what we do, because, you know, the health and safety of the children is number one important. And some things are not suitable for a younger age group, maybe 3 plus, 12 months plus. So we've had a lot of things designed that are now right down to 6 months plus, so we know that they're safe for class. But seeing how much they, you know, respond to props, we put more props in for that reason. And yeah, they do love them, because their imagination is just, preschoolers are incredible with their imagination. So the more you can give them to allow that imagination to come out, the better.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I love your props. I know when I visited you guys over in the UK earlier in the year, I got to see your. Yeah, there we go.
We've just got a brand new flag that we use. So we have flags, we have wands, we have stations. I've got a few things ready for you this morning, Clint.
I love it. You're all ready to rock and roll. We should get a demonstration, Claire.
We should, maybe another day. But the one thing to mention is that we're going back to the common, you asked me about the sort of like common faults and what advice would I have for preschoolers. And the time of the class, 35 minutes, is what we do, which works absolutely brilliantly. To get all these things in, you've got to make sure that your music and your whole structure for the class is back to back to back to back to back. So that one thing feeds straight into the other, So there's no hanging around to, you know, you've not really got time to be stopping the music, having a think. You've got to have it structured beforehand, because their attention span is a lot smaller than older children. So having that program set up beforehand, having all your props ready, the music to go one into the other, into the other, into the other, is a really big piece of advice, because it's a lot to get into 35 minutes.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you've just touched on a really important point where there's none of this kind of stopping and starting, because I think that's when they get distracted, and that's when they have a tear, and that's when they, you know, go up to the mirror. So, no, I think that's great. Claire, I want to talk to you about teachers, because a struggle that I know so many studio owners face, especially with this age group, is finding the right teacher to teach their preschoolers. I mean, you work with your franchisees, who I'm sure you've got hundreds of teachers across all of their different baby ballet locations. What are your tips around recruiting the right teacher? And then the second part of that is training the teacher in the program.
Yeah, we are really, really stringent and strict on our teacher recruitment, and we've developed that as well a lot over the years, because we know exactly which teacher is right for our preschool program. It's fine having your syllabus, your curriculum, your props, your music, everything like that, absolutely fine, but they are wasted if you don't have an absolutely incredible preschool teacher. Personality, which is oozing in imagination, fun, friendly, inviting, welcoming. They've just got to be such a lovely, lovely person to engage the children. You know, we've done a lot of work in that over the years, and it's so key to get that right teacher. They've got to make those children be engaged with them. They've got to make them excited. They've got to transform them into a magical place week in, week out. You know, you've got to, it's just like being on stage, it's performing. You've got to get into that class, switch it on. You know, no matter what you've been through on your way to the studio, no matter if you've had no sleep because your children have been awake all night, push the button and get on and perform with those little ones, because they expect that and they deserve it. And you will get the most out of your classes if you've got that brilliant teacher who absolutely adores the preschool age group. And some people, it doesn't suit, you know, some teachers, they prefer the older ones where they can be more technical, they can really, really develop them in a very technical way. But the preschoolers, you don't see that much change week in, week out. It's over a longer time frame that you see those developments and see what the children are actually achieving. So, you know, they've got to be imaginative, creative, upbeat, willing, animated. It's a special breed of person, really, to do that side of the classes.
Yeah, for sure. Are you finding, if I want to kind of generalize here a little bit, but are you finding that majority of your teachers maybe are mums or a little bit older versus like a young person that's out of college, or do you have quite a mix?
We do have a really good mix. We have a lot of mums who obviously can relate to the children because they have their own children. A lot of our teachers absolutely adore preschoolers anyway, so if they've got a real love for that age group, then that works really well. So there is a mix. I think that mums can bring their own angle to it because they've experienced their own children. But in saying that, we've got a lot of teachers who are not mums who have absolutely fantastic classes. And it's the way that they approach the class, and it's their attitude towards the preschoolers. They know that they're not going to see them pirouette, on the fifth week of class. They're doing the very foundation steps, which hopefully will then stick with them to take them on through a career in dance or a love of dance as a hobby. So they still need to. It's important for them to realise that they are doing a fantastic job, just if they don't see too many developments. But we find as our teachers, they absolutely, they get as excited when one child, lifts their leg just to hop. They might not have done anything for 6 months, and then all of a sudden this child actually goes, wow, I can lift my leg, and there's no hop. But those tiny little things they're so important because they're kind of the building blocks then to be able to lift your legs, to be able to hop, to be able to go to the next stage in dance. So it's special, and to reward those little achievements are important too for the children. And the parents and carers love it when they see those tiny progressions.
I'm sure they do. I mean, it's just magic. That age group is magic because they're so adorable and unpredictable at the same time, which is why I love them. In keeping with the teachers, do you put your teachers on a trial period? I mean, how do you kind of get them in and then see if they've really got the goods?
We do. If it's a new teacher too, as obviously we've got a lot of teachers now circulating the network who pick a lot of classes. But if it's a brand new teacher, they first of all send in their CV, and we can check that they've got the relevant dance qualifications on there and the right kind of personality and overview. We ask them for a cover letter, why they'd like to be involved with Babyballet and why they think they'd be a good teacher. Then we'd ask them to go and see a class so that they can actually see what the class is all about, because if they've never seen it, they wouldn't know how much has gone into it and how much structure is there and what we expect from the teachers. And I think sometimes it might be like, you just turn up, do a few little nursery rhymes and off, but, it's really important that they do, deliver brilliantly. So they go and see the class and see if it's for them or not. And then they would do a small audition so that we can check that technique is right and check that, the way that they articulate what we'll do, like a trial little demo class, so they can show us how they would perform a few different exercises, and then we would put them into class so we can see their interaction with the children, and then at that point we'd decide whether they were right or not. And it is so important because these are the foundations. These teachers are the foundations of your future of your dance school, and get that right and get them children to fall in love with that person, as well as them having, the right dance background and the right teaching ability. It's wonderful that these children do then stay because they fall in love with the teacher and they want to be part of the school forever. So it's really important. I wouldn't underestimate how important it is to recruit the right teachers, and it might take time. And with ours, it costs the franchisees to put them through the training, and we back that up all the way because we want them to find the right teachers. Another really important one that we find is that some teachers, if they're new out of college, they're brilliantly, technically fantastic, their performance skills are fantastic, but if they've still got a real desire to go away and perform, and they want to do, shifts, or they want to do whatever it might be, and they've still got a real love for performing, or a desire for performing, it's better to be really honest with them and them to be honest with you. And because preschoolers really like consistency. So if they start classes and they do 3 weeks and then they get a contract, traveling the world on a cruise ship, preschoolers have formed that relationship with them so quickly then they have to get used to someone else. So I'd try and keep real consistency in the teacher that you've got, and just have, it's just being open and honest with the people who are coming to interview, just to see, if you've got that desire to perform, that's absolutely brilliant. We wouldn't want to hold you back, but we do at this point need someone who's going to commit, so that we know that the children have got that regular teacher with the regular smile, and, they can really rely on them week in, week out.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's such a good tip, and it's something that teachers, studio owners always talk about is, how do I know that they're going to stay around? They tell me they are, but how do I know? And you've probably had situations where people have left.
We have. We had one situation where we trained the teacher, and they were all set to go. This particular franchise area, it was the only teacher for all those classes. So the franchisee, the owner of the franchise, was actually doing the management, and she recruited the teacher in to do 20 classes a week. And on the night before the classes started, she got a contract, and she said, "I'm really sorry, it's not for me anymore." So being in that position, when you've got all these classes starting the next day, she was so fortunate that one of the parents who'd inquired about classes for her little one was actually a trained teacher and performer, and she ended up standing in that next morning. She did the training. We went to meet the classes, we did the training, and we kind of guided her through that week, and now she's like one of the longest standing fantastic teachers that we have. So you've got to really just, and it's not saying that they might not know, they might think, I want to stick around, I might not. You can't always, but as much as you can be honest with you, it's better to have that conversation than find yourself in a tricky situation.
Wow, isn't she amazing? And guys, that was just a little snippet, a little sneak peek into my masterclass with Claire. If you want the rest of it, make sure you register for Dance Teachers Unite. Go to the website right now. Not if you're driving though, pull over. You can access it on your mobile, danceteachersunite.com, and register for your free ticket. It all kicks off on Tuesday, the 6th of October. Like I said, 32 video masterclasses with so many awesome experts to really help you grow your dance studio. So that's it from me today. I hope you have an awesome rest of the week wherever you're listening throughout the world, and I look forward to you joining us at the summit, the online summit next week. Take care and bye for now.